Good evening. It is so good to have you here at Jazz Prayer. I am Kathy Nolte, and I am the lead pastor here at Good Shepherd Lutheran Church in Oak Park. I'm so glad that you have found us and that you're joining us for Jazz Prayer tonight, whether in person or on live stream. No matter how you found us, we hope that you will share the information about this to other people. For those in person, there are postcards that are in the back, and I know that Lynn back there can show you where those are. And for those of you who are online, well, you found us online, and all you need to do is to share that link with other people, your friends and neighbors. It would be great. A word about logistics. For those who are here, feel free to grab your refreshments and bring them to your seat to refill your refreshments as the night goes on. And also, as the songs come on, I hope that you will be joining us to sing. And if you feel like moving, well, get up out of your seat and go ahead and move also. For those of you who are at home, I hope that you have grabbed your own snacks and that you have done some fun things to make this the live experience for you at home. Jazz Prayer is brought to you by the generosity of many different donors. If you would like to be one of those, there's a box in the back that you can put your donation into. For those who are on the live stream, you can go to our webpage and donate that way. Of course, if you want to do the old snail mail, checks still work. This is our 10th season, and we're so glad to keep bringing this to you. So we thank you for your past and your present and your future support. Tonight we have some great musicians with us. We have Rafe Bradford on bass, Charles Heath on drums, Andy Baker on trombone, the lovely Cheryl Wilson on vocals, Michael Stryker, our pianist and director of Jazz Prayer. Tonight's theme, it's called Regenerate. Over 2,000 years ago, a story began. It had angels and stars, shepherds, and a very ordinary couple who were soon to be married. The story centered on God's love for us and God's entry into our own human existence in order to renew or regenerate the original blessing that was granted to all of us at the very beginning of time. Like a tapestry that's woven through time, the Christmas story weaves us in to remember how God has shown up in the past, to continue the work of that original blessing, and to allow us to behold God's presence in flesh and bone. As we tell the story of birth, a regeneration takes place within us in our own time. Like those shepherds who are looking up into the starry night, we are reminded that we too belong to this story of the Christ child. Yet, too often in the season, we fail to see the awe and the wonder that exists in the retelling of the story. We're too caught up in the extra work of the season. In the shopping of the gifts, we're too mindful of how others have hurt us and failed us throughout the year, or perhaps just the last week, which gets us in the way of being able to see Emmanuel, God with us. I invite you right now to think of a person who is close to you, someone who, as you look back at this past week or month or year, has caused you pain, has caused you disappointment. Do you have that person in mind? Now I'm going to go through a poem called A Hard Choice, and I want you to follow along with the things that it says. First, take a deep breath. Let the oxygen dance through your lungs. Exhale it slowly. Allow the hurt, the shame, to rise up inside of you. Let your mind run wild with all the things like a million horses that are loose. Let the narratives unfold, unroll, a river of choppy water. Now ask yourself, how did you get there? And look down at your feet. Roll your shoulders back. Remember who you are. Take another breath. And another breath. Let's walk it back to the beginning. Instead of looking at your feet, imagine the feet of the other one. Imagine where he or she stands. Imagine what he or she needs. Dry that river of false stories your mind. Turn that rushing water into a dry creek bed, certainly not clean enough to drink. Call back the horses, call them home. Watch as they shake the dust off the day. Now, name what you're feeling. Inhale again. Exhale. One more time. Inhale again. Exhale. Now you're ready to choose a better way. Now is time for Regenerate. This story is from a woman whose name is Christina Hong. In Matthew's telling of the birth of Jesus, he lists this long list, 14 names of Jesus' forebears, as a marker of the hope that is finally realized. Even today, names are the seeded hope of one generation planted into another. They're that thread that connects our histories, our stories, and our futures. We are the hope of those who have come before us, and we live in hope for those who will come after us. In the Korean tradition, male babies are named by the oldest patriarch on the father's side of the family. My paternal grandfather died before I was born, so I was named by my maternal grandfather, who built my name. Even before I was born, he declared that he would build a meaningful name for me, even though I wasn't a boy. I would receive a name with intention from the oldest living generation that was given to the newest generation. He gave me the name Jin, which when paired with my surname becomes Hong Jin, which means something precious in the wide expanse. When I was born, he was not sure that he would ever get to meet his granddaughter with the vast ocean separating South Korea from California. In those days, it was not so easy or affordable to fly internationally. That name represented the connection that he felt to me and my parents, despite what felt like insurmountable distance between us. What is the Spirit of God, if not hope against hope in our very lives? My grandfather knew about hope against hope. He died at the age of 101 years old, a survivor of war, of displacement, of excruciating trauma and loss. Yet I knew him to be a loving human with a joyful disposition, a spiritual and humble man, my biggest fan, the person who left me with the gift of my name, Hong Jin, something precious in the wide expanse. It connected me through that name to the hope that he bore through so much tragedy. 3 years ago, I passed the gift of the name Jin to my daughter, Tae Jin, giving her the part of the name my grandfather had built for me. Her name, Tae Jin, means precious light. Through her name, she is connected to her great-grandfather, to his stories, to his hopes, to his spiritual presence. And as she grows, she will become part of a larger story by weaving in her own stories as seeds of hope for someone new.
We would like to introduce to you Ms. Cheryl Wilson. How about a hand for Cheryl? Yep, yay. For that. So the first tune we did was from Charlie Brown's Christmas special, but I turned it into kind of a 4/4 swinger. And this is What Child Is This, but also known in terms of the melody as Greensleeves, which was adapted by the saxophonist John Coltrane. So we're weaving jazz and Christmas and blessings and all of that together into one service, and we're so grateful that you're here with us sharing the evening. So this is What Child Is This?
What child is this who lay to rest on Mary's lap is sleeping, whom angels greet with that sweet, the babe, the son of Mary. So bring him incense, gold, and myrrh. Come up, peasant king, to own him. The King of Kings salvation brings, the babe, the son of Mary. This is Christ the King, whom shepherds guard and angels sing. Haste, haste to bring him, Lord, the babe, the son of Mary. This is Christ the King, whom shepherds guard and angels sing. Haste, haste to bring him, Lord, the babe, the son of Mary, the babe, the son of Mary. Mary, 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 the people to be bad, Mary, 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 the bad, the baby, the son of a man. Mary, Mary. What child is this who lay it to rest on Mary's lap is sleeping, whom angels greet with anthems sweet, while shepherds watch are keeping? It's a babe, the Son of Mary, the babe, the Son of Mary, the babe, the Son of Mary, the babe, the Son of Mary. Babe, the Son of Mary.
Once again, Miss Cheryl Wilson on the vocals. So there are words in your program, and you are welcome to sing along if you can figure out where the words go. Because I took a few Christmas tunes and subjected them to my musical brain. And the melody is in there, but there's some different harmony in a few different sections here and there. And this is O Come All Ye Faithful, and do hope that you enjoy it. O Come All Ye Faithful.
We are told that Joseph was a righteous man. When Joseph learns that Mary is pregnant by suspicious means and his engagement has been turned into a scandal, he decides to dismiss Mary quietly. While this choice might seem like a compassionate one, it's also a passive one. It doesn't cost Joseph anything, but it has great consequences for Mary and her unborn child. As an unmarried mother, she and her child would be increasingly vulnerable, shunned by society, perhaps cut off from family, support, and any resources. This choice means that Joseph's reputation remains completely unharmed. While pregnant Mary, she'll live on with mounting shame and threats against her. Most certainly, if her child does survive, he will live in poverty. While Joseph is thinking about all of this, perhaps deliberating about how he will delicately manage the social perception of this unexpected turn in his life, an angel comes to him in a dream. What I find most interesting is that the angel doesn't command Joseph to marry. Instead, he simply says, "Don't be afraid." The angel essentially says, don't be afraid of the social stigma. Don't be afraid of trusting Mary's story. Don't be afraid to become a parent through adoption. Don't be afraid to experience a love that is greater than you have ever known. Don't be afraid to make the courageous choice, the one that will not only change your life, but also the lives of Mary and Jesus, that unborn child, and quite frankly, so many generations that come after you. In the image that you see, the artist captured Joseph in that liminal space where his dreams will soon shape the reality. He rests his head on a folded blanket, which represents the woven tapestry of all the ancestors before him who also made difficult choices for the good of others. The gold interconnecting lines look like roots and branches of a family tree. They envelop him, symbolizing the beautiful web of generations that will come from his courage. As we reflect on the Christmas story and on Joseph's experience to trust righteousness and justice and shalom, may we too have the courage to choose a better way in this world that bring righteousness, justice, and shalom to the world. As we are in this season of connecting with family in such ways, whether we're joining with them in parties and celebrations or whether it's just in our hearts, it's also this time when we take that same sense of connecting with the world and lift it up in prayer. In our prayer today, the response is, O come, Emmanuel, and you will see on the screens the verses that we'll have as we go through the song. God of stepfathers and unwed mothers and adopted parents, God of angel messengers and newborn kings, we bow our heads with praise on our lips, for who else but you would pick ordinary people to be God's parents? And who else but you would lead Mary and Joseph back to one another when trust was so low? And who else but you would assume the best of fragile human hearts? Open our hearts that we might offer second chances to others. Open our minds that we might let go of grudges. Help us to embody the hope of the generations who have looked to you in the midst of the deep evening.
Oh, come, Emmanuel, and ransom captive Israel that mourns in lonely exile here until the Son of God appear. Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come to you, O Israel.
God of yesterday and tomorrow, the beginning and the end, we want to see you in those who we love and those who don't know us. We want to see you in those whose drink choices we have memorized and those with whom we have never had a conversation. We want to see you not only in those who are family, but in those who come from very different places and positions in life. Help us, gracious God, to see that from generation to generation, you have left your fingerprints all over your people.
Oh, come, O Key of David, come and open wide our heavenly home. Make safe the way that leads on high, and close the path to misery. Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come to you, O Israel.
Author of our lives, each year you draw us near to remind us again of your hope for our world. While we want to bottle up this feeling just for ourselves and for those we know, we feel your Spirit urging us to share this story and how it impacts our story. Help us to live like shepherds who weren't afraid to share what they had seen and heard. Help us to live like Mary, who sang a new song of justice where all might find your goodness. Grant us the courage and the conviction to trust that something new can happen in this world when we not just share the good news, but allow your story to transform our lives, that others might embrace the good news. Like the generations before us, we gather around your word like people who gather around fire for warmth.
Oh, come,
Emmanuel.
and ransom captive Israel that mourns in lonely exile here until the Son of God appear. Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come to you, O Israel. Holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of the dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till he appeared and the soul felt its worth. The thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. All on your knees, oh, hear the angel voices. Oh, When Christ was born. Oh, night, oh, night, oh, holy night, oh. One night,
So amazing the musicians we have here. I want to lift up their names again. Rafe Bradford on bass. Charles Heath on drums. Andy Baker, trombone. Cheryl Wilson with amazing vocals. And Michael Stryker, pianist and the director. Our goal each time we bring jazz prayer is hoping that whatever that you came in with, that you're now in a better place, especially in this season of meeting other people, of being with lots of family. We hope that it's a time when you can stop and pause and really just let go of all the things that just cause you distress, that you can enjoy this season for all the fullness that it's meant to be. So I hope that you can at least do that in the next couple of days as we keep inching towards Christmas. Do know that if you're looking for a home, that we have Christmas Eve services here, not tomorrow, Saturday, but a week from Saturday. I can't believe that it's coming up that quickly, but it is. It is. And we have a 5 o'clock service that's going to have an amazing Christmas pageant, and then 7:30 traditional worship service here. So either way, I hope that you find a home that you can enjoy this season clearly. On Sunday, Christmas Day, it's a Sunday this year, we will have a service at 10:30. Now, jazz prayer is why we're here, though, and I hope that you will come back for jazz prayer in February 17th, and if you would like to be reminded about that, for those of you who are online, just drop us a note and we will include you into our reminders that we send out by email. So let us know and we'll include you in that. For those of you who are here, if you give us your email address, we will make sure you get on that list. We will remind you, because February 17th is going to seem really far away until suddenly it's going to be upon us and you'll miss it. So we want to remind you about that. The theme is relate, relate. It's just a few days after Valentine's Day, and so our sights will be turning towards relationships and how we might repair the broken ones. Now, a bit of a blessing before we go. As you leave this place, may you go knowing that from generation to generation, we have all been claimed and loved. From generation to generation, God has been on our side. From generation to generation, we are not alone. The God of yesterday and the God of tomorrow knows you by name, loves you deeply, calls you forth, saying, "Go be the person that you are called to be, love wildly, do justice, and come back soon." May it be so. Amen.
I'd like to add one more thing, which is simply that it's a rare gift to be able to present music in a live setting these days. And is this my 5th year? I think this is my 5th year as a director of the Jazz Prayer Service here. And it's music from our souls as a gift that heals us, and we hope that it heals you, and that you can take the love that we send to you from our music into the world and to the people that you care for. So be safe, and thank you so much for coming out tonight.
When I'm worried and I can't sleep, I count my blessings instead of sheep, and I fall asleep counting my blessings. When my bankroll is getting small, I remember when I had nothing at all, and I fall asleep counting my blessings. I think about a nursery and a picture curly heads, and one by one I count them as they're sleeping in their beds. So if you're worried and you can't sleep, just count your blessings instead of sheep, and you'll fall asleep counting your blessings. instead of sheep. And I fall asleep counting my blessings when my bankroll is getting small. I used to have nothing at all, and I fall asleep counting my blessings. Then I think about another, and I see their sweet face. And one by one my troubles this will erase. So if you're worried and you can't sleep, count your blessings instead of sheep, and you'll fall asleep counting your blessings. You'll fall asleep counting your blessings. You will fall asleep. You're gonna fall asleep. You're gonna fall asleep. You're gonna fall asleep counting it. You're gonna fall asleep counting your blessings. You fall asleep counting your blessings. Just count your blessings. Count your blessings. Merry Christmas.
See you in February.